Hey, great to be with you here today again. Thank you for joining me. This is the part two of our ongoing sort of just live stream around showing up. Um, in the first part, which was yesterday, just giving you a bit of background first. This is Multicultural Professional Bridge Initiative, which is also an affiliate of Multicultural Leadership Network. Um, it is really all about the key word for us is representation for culturally diverse communities. It's not just about election, even though we are in the election period. And because it's a time where constituencies actually show up, where the community has opportunity to express their desire, has opportunity to be visible via the polls. We felt culturally diverse communities also has the opportunity here. Many of them are already doing something. We acknowledge that, but Multicultural Leadership Network is just adding a voice regarding some things, some key themes that culturally diverse communities and those interested in that cohort or the welfare of those cohorts should be thinking about. This was one of our posts, and it's quite busy, but it highlights some key themes, some key areas that cultural diverse communities should be interested in and should actually drive us to the polls. Voting has started already. Saturday is a highlight, but also the issues we are talking about is beyond Saturday. It's beyond the 47th Parliament. It is about representation. It is about having people in Parliament that can relate to what culturally diverse community feel, their heartbeats, what keeps them awake at night, what drives their passion, what they really want to see about their lives. And these are some of them. I mean, it's not exhaustive, but these are some of the key issues we've identified: employment, aging, business, family, immigration, crime, and future generations. Yesterday, we focused, like I said, that slide was a bit busy, and we can lose touch of communication if we try to address everything in one go. So we are trying to unpack those key areas. And again, these are highlights. We aim not to go past 20 minutes. Yesterday was the first episode and we went past a bit. But today, I'm really keen to keep it short, and hopefully we can have people in the audience also contributing. Daniel, thank you so much. Daniel has already given some feedback. Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for coming on stream with us. We really appreciate you giving that comment. Please keep them coming. Ephraim is not meant to talk to himself. Multicultural Leadership Network is not meant to be the only one talking about this. It's a representation. So the more voice, the more participation we can get, I think the more we will feel that we're actually speaking the minds of many, not just few. So like I said, when you look at that particular slide, it's quite busy, some of these key issues. So we are trying to unpack them. Yesterday for day one, we looked at employment, place. The video was after the live stream like this. It's available. Check our various social media handles, and you can actually relive or listen to that episode again. Today we're going to business. Like employment, this is very important. Business and ventures, entrepreneurship is a critical part of people's economic participation. And Australia it's a rich country. There's a lot going on, a lot of development. There are rooms for involvement. There are rooms for participation. The current government has done a good job. They've promoted the opportunities. They are there. But again, when you look at the statistics of culturally diverse business, participation and involvement, you start wondering why again is just so little participation in this area. And we'll be talking about this for a while. So we're looking at 3 key areas: starting the business. Some people can have ideas forever, but without starting. So there's a gap there. Why are we not starting businesses that we've already formulated ideas for? And do you know that there is support? Is that support reaching called or culturally diverse people? Is there more that we need to do to participate in that area? Do we have people in parliament? Now, you may say this is business, but again, just like employment, policies, laws, and key decisions at that level will drive business participation, one way or the other. But from this clip I will show you next, you will find out that we have to start it off. It's ultimately down to culturally diverse people to start something, to push for the limit and push beyond the limit. Get those ideas out. Anyway, let me not say too much. Let me bring in, because MPB.
How can we spark a fresh urge for called people to get into business, to get into entrepreneurship? And this is really driven by, I'll just start with this quote. Let me flag this, because this is one of our major drivers today. You can give a man or a woman a fish, and that could mean many things. It could mean giving people handouts. It could mean Centrelink. We know our dear country, Australia, I think is one of the most welfare balanced country I've seen, where people, we don't want to leave anyone behind in poverty or suffering. But it comes to a time where called people, where migrant people need to learn to get the fish themselves. So I just want to leave it open at that point. Let me bring you in here, Teresa. Just that statement, what do you think, having called people in mind?
Well, that statement is quite true. We need to empower people to be able to be self-sustaining. So if you help someone by doing things for them, they will not learn. They will not be able to empower themselves. So if you actively had them take their own steps, do their own actions, it will empower them in the future to know exactly how to do things.
Yeah, thanks. I'll come back to you later, Teresa. Now, Tendai, what do you think about this statement? I'm sure it's not new to you.
The interesting thing about this statement is if we could learn how to provide for ourselves, then we should be able to take care or control our future. And I just remember someone who went a step further in describing this statement, and this is what I liked the most. Here it says, give a man or a woman a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man or woman to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Now, this is more about learning the skills. But if we could go a step further, let's talk about teaching people how to own a fish pond. So it's not just about learning how to fish. We want to own the fish ponds. So I think that's another dimension that we have to look at. And I think that's what our focus of our discussion today should be. We need to own fish ponds and have people who fish on our behalf. And that's what we want to do.
That's quite interesting, Tendai. You've taken it to another level now. I didn't think about a fish pond. So
Thank you, Ephraim, for having me today. It's a pleasure for me to end the year with you on a very on a good conversation on a passionate subject.
I think planning is good. For me, working and planning, and also learning new stuff as it goes.
He just came and just pointed the camera at me and asked me, "Do I mind if he captured this?" I said, "Not at all." And after the session, he gave me an interview, and the feedback has been very, very encouraging.
Success is an inside job. It always starts with our mindset. It doesn't matter, again, you could have a best products and best services. If you don't talk about it, if you don't let people know, even in your hometown, let's say I'm from Iran, let's say I'm in Iran and I've got all that family and everything. If I don't talk about it, if I keep it quiet, and if I say, oh, what would they buy from me? What are they going to think? They're probably going to think, who do you think you are to start a business? This is everywhere, but it all comes down to your mindset.
Tastes and preferences differ across cultures. Need to know who your target market is and what it is that they like. Be like a child.
Yeah.
Act like you know nothing, because you really need to know what your ideal market likes.
Yes, so like I said, I just showed those video clips because it relates seriously to the topic of today, which is business as another area that core people need to think about as we go to the polls. How much representation? Now, can I acknowledge the people that were on that video who actually contributed to this discussion previously? Talking about Teresa, Denden, Tendai, my friend. We also had Nida there, Nida Fasad, is doing a lot in that area of entrepreneurship for called people across as well as non-called. And then we have Mireille Tulekima has done a lot, even internationally, in terms of entrepreneurship. We also had Michael Feleke is into coffee business. And finally, we have the beautifiers, Safaratu Bakari, into fashion design. Now, these are culturally diverse people, and they're in business. I brought that video clip just to help me set the tone in terms of the topic for today. You can hear there where Tendai mentioned, and along with Teresa as well, that we need to think about owning our own ponds. I am a professional myself. I've been in the employment side, and I've also been in the entrepreneurial side. And we're not saying everybody have to be entrepreneurs as a core person. But if you have those ideas, and then there are barriers, there are gaps. Again, we're not saying anybody is the cause of this first, because you can hear from the conversation I just shared, that video clip, especially when Nida mentioned that that clause, which is success is an inside job. It's about mindset. Culturally diverse people will need to do something themselves. Take it from an idea, go out there. And then she also mentioned about, it doesn't matter whether you are a core person or not, if people do not know what you do, if you don't go out there to network. And there's quite a lot of networking ventures that has been done. Some of them community driven, but the different groups, even community groups. So I don't want to first of all just go straight to we are depending on government for everything. But let me bring it together in that final part of those 3 key points, and that is appropriate support. I think this is where we need some help. There are peculiar challenges associated with culturally diverse people getting into business, and they need appropriate support. And they need people at that level of government to understand those peculiar challenges. And again, we're not saying here that somebody is to blame. Many times, culturally diverse people just need that extra. Of course, they have to have good products that will sell. Of course, they have to have the business acumen, the financial management skills, and all those other skills needed to succeed in business. But the statistics, the numbers are very clear that culturally diverse people in Australia are participating less in businesses, despite the wealth and opportunities in this country. So once again, we're not ending here with any blame game. We're just saying what it is. We're saying that when people are actually engaging with the current candidates or existing people in parliament, I think we need to start looking at some of these factors and how we can bridge the gap, how representation can help, because a core person, a culturally diverse person in parliament that has been in business, that have experienced some of these challenges, they will understand what they mean. But ultimately, success in business ultimately depends on the business person. Though the key point there is that there's a need for appropriate support from government. Let's leave it there. Again, this short session was never meant to finish everything in one go. So hopefully we can keep talking about it. Let's continue the discussion in our social media handles, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next version. Thank you very much, and all the best.